Welcome, everybody, to This Week on the Daily Dose. This week, we are talking about stories too dangerous to tell on Sunday morning. This week, we are uncovering some of the Bible's most obscure, weird, strange stories and wondering why the heck they are in the Bible in the first place. So today I want to tell you the story about a rather bold, questionable woman, one who makes the pages of the Bible. Her story happens in the Old Testament in the book of Joshua, and I want to set the stage for you. So the Israelites, those are God's people. They left slavery in Egypt under the leadership of Moses, and he helped them escape the evil Pharaoh that was persecuting them. And they end up in the wilderness. So they cross the Red Sea. They end up in the wilderness where they wander around for 40 years before God leads them to the promised land. And you see Moses, then he dies during this 40-year period in the desert, and a new leader emerges from the Israelites, and his name is Joshua. Now, Joshua, he is the guy who brings them to the promised land finally after 40 years of wandering the desert. And Joshua, he is trying to figure out his strategy. See, there's a fortified city on this promised land, and the city is called Jericho. But here's the problem with Jericho. It's occupied. There is a people group living in this city, and they have this great walls built up and a gate that keeps them safe at night. But God tells Joshua that this promised land and that this was going to be theirs, that this huge nomadic group of Israelites would soon occupy Jericho. So Joshua, he wants to know what he's up against. And so he sends 2 spies into this city. And they go in, and you know what these spies do? Well, they head to a brothel. That's right. They enter into the home of a prostitute named Rahab, and then they spend the night there. Yet somehow word gets out that these spies are in town, and the king of Jericho, he sends out his troops to search the whole city to find these Israelite spies. And the king, wonders if they're at this brothel. So he sends orders to Rahab, who runs this brothel, and says, "Bring the men out who have come and entered your house, because they have come to spy on the whole land." But Rahab, she is super bold. Instead, she takes these 2 spies up to her roof and hides them under some stalks that she was drying there. And she tells the king's troop a lie that could have gotten her killed herself. She says to them, "Yeah, it's true that they came to me, but when it was time to close the gate, they left. So hurry up and maybe you can catch them." This sneaky kind of fake move, quick thinking, leaves Rahab thinking about these spies up on her roof. And so the guys, the king's guard, they go and they leave looking for the spies somewhere else. But Rahab, she is smarter than anyone would expect. She goes back up onto her roof where she has hidden them, and she says something really unexpected, something that can really teach us a lot about this story in the Bible. Rahab says to these Israelite spies, she says, "I know that God would give you this land." What? This is surprising because her people would have worshiped other gods. So how does she know the God of the Israelites? But she continues, she said, "For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on earth below. Now please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brother and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death." And the spies, they agree. They say to her, "Oh, our life for your lives." And the men assured her, "We will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us this land that your people now live in." So Rahab then, she lets them go, and she sends a rope down from her window of her house so that they are dropped outside of the city wall. And then they agree that she's going to tie a red cord around her windows so that all of the Israelite army will know to spare this house. And here's the thing. This foreign, prostitute, bold woman, Rahab, after the city's taken over by the Israelites, she ends up marrying one of those Israelites. And if we read the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew chapter 1, she is right there. Her name is mentioned in Jesus' genealogy. That's right. She is one of Jesus's great grandmothers. Yeah. So my friends, if you have some scandalous relatives, like I think we all probably do, some people in your past that look less than holy. I want you to remember that you're in really good company, that Jesus had scandalous people in his family history too. Or if you look at your own life and you think maybe you've just got too much sin or too many mistakes that you've made or too much self-interest and ego to be used by God, I want you to remember that God uses messy people to do God's work. People like you and people like me. So when you read the Bible, you won't find it full of religious superheroes. Instead, you're going to find regular people just like Rahab that end up furthering God's work just on accident. Because even when we are a mess, God is always faithful. Thanks for joining us this week on Stories Too Dangerous to Tell on Sunday morning. And we're going to continue to unpack more strange stories that you probably didn't learn in Sunday school. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're somebody who's watching us on Facebook or YouTube, I want to invite you to share and subscribe. And if you're joining us on cable access, thank you so much for being here. I really am honored that you're taking time with us today. But before we go tonight, I want to invite you to our in-person worship. We're going to open back up again here on Memorial Day weekend on May 30th. We're going to have an 8 o'clock traditional worship service right here at the church. And then following that, we'll have our 10 o'clock Calvary at the Lake over on the beautiful shores of Lake Carlos at Luther Crest Bible Camp. If you come early, we'll serve you brunch at 9 o'clock. I hope to see you in person, but thanks for being with us today.
Oxygen, my very breath, the source of life, the source of rest. Oh, I need you. You're the wind that fills these fragile sails. You carry me through crashing waves. Oh, I need you. Oh, breathe in, you in, Yahweh, Yahweh. Breathe in, you in, Yahweh, Yahweh. Breathe in, you in, Yahweh, Yahweh. Breathe in, you in. Stars would have no shine. Stars would have no shine without your word. So be the spark, Lord, let me burn. Oh, I need you. Oh, I need you. Burning within, Yahweh, Yahweh. Burning within, Yahweh, Yahweh. Burning within, Yahweh, Yahweh. Burning within. You are the great I am, seated upon the throne. Nothing can take your place in my heart. I'm bringing all I am, standing with lifted hands. Nothing can take your place in my heart, in my heart.